Welcome to the deep dive. We're really glad you could join us today. We're looking at something fascinating excerpts from a conversation called Faithful Conversations. And specifically, we're zoning in on Genesis chapter 2, verses 2 through 10. Our mission, if you will, is to unpack this more detailed look at creation. We'll focus on the seventh day, the whole idea of rest, and the very beginnings of the Garden of Eden. Hopefully, we can pull out some key insights, maybe even a few surprising facts that could, shift how you think about these foundational texts.
Yeah, and it's probably worth saying right up front, this section of Genesis, it offers a really intimate, almost earthy perspective on creation. It's quite a different tone, I think, than what people might expect, especially if they're just coming from reading chapter 1.
Oh, that's interesting. An earthy perspective. Okay, let's dive right in then. We start with Genesis 2, verses 2 and 3. And right away, the focus is on God resting on the seventh day. It says, by the seventh day, God had finished the work he had been doing. So on the seventh day, he rested from all his work.
So what's the big deal here? I mean, God, the creator, resting. What's the significance?
Well, it's striking, isn't it? Because the text goes on to say, God blessed the seventh day and made it holy. Think about that. The very first thing in the Bible that God declares holy. It isn't a mountain, it's not a temple, it's not even a person, it's a day. It's a period of time dedicated to rest. To call it holy means setting it apart, right? For a divine purpose.
Setting it apart.
Yeah, and that itself challenges maybe some ancient ideas and even modern ones about divinity being, constant activity, never stop.
And it feels so countercultural, doesn't it? Even now, we're always rushing, productivity is king.
Busyness is like a badge of honor. But here's God modeling rest, almost like saying, okay, stop, breathe, just appreciate what's been made. How does that divine rest challenge our own ideas about work and maybe even our own value?
Oh, it completely flips the script, I think. One really compelling way to look at it is that the story starts with rest and, well, relationship before work even comes into the picture for humanity. It kind of suggests God's first gift isn't a to-do list.
Right.
It's a place to belong, and it's this rhythm of rest woven into, the fabric of creation itself. It's quite radical, really. Being and belonging come before doing.
That sets a powerful stage. Okay, so then we move into verses 4 to 7, Genesis 2.47. People often call this a second creation account. For anyone maybe hearing that distinction for the first time, what makes this different from Genesis 1, besides the tone you mentioned? And then verse 7, this is, wow, then the Lord God formed a man from the dust of the ground and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, and the man became a living being. Talk about intimate.
Yeah, that's a great point. Genesis 1 gives you that grand, sweeping, cosmic view. Creation by divine word, let there be. Genesis 2, though, it zooms right in. It's about the how and maybe the why of humanity's creation and our place. It's much more grounded. And yes, the imagery, it's incredibly hands-on. God isn't just speaking things into existence here. He's described like a potter, carefully shaping humanity from the Adama, from the earth itself. There's this amazing closeness implied.
So not just a command from afar, but like tactile, personal, getting his hands dirty, so to speak.
Precisely.
And it's not just the shaping from dust, is it? There's the breath, God sharing his own breath. How does that combination, the physical shaping and the divine breath, define what it means to be human in this story?
Well, it highlights this incredible dual connection, doesn't it? On one hand, we're deeply connected to the earth, physical beings made from the ground. But then through the breath, the ruach, there's this unique, direct link to the divine. Life comes directly from God's own essence. So we're not just spirit, not just body. We're this intricate blend, formed from the earth, animated by God. It implies relationship from the very start.
Wow. That's an incredible image of care, of intention. Okay, so after this very personal creation, we get to verses 8 through 10. God plants a garden in Eden and puts the man there. What do these verses tell us about this initial paradise?
Well, Eden's described as just beautiful and abundant. It had all kinds of trees, and the text specifies they were pleasing to the eye and good for food. So it's not just functional, it's aesthetically pleasing, sensory delight. And of course, it famously mentions the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil.
Right, those two specific trees. And there's this detail about a river watering the garden, which then splits into 4 headwaters. It really paints a picture of vibrancy, doesn't it? A self-sustaining kind of place. Incredible provision. Almost effortless.
It certainly sounds idyllic, but an important insight, I think, is that even in this paradise, there are boundaries, there are choices. It's not just do whatever you want. Those specific trees signal that. They introduce the idea of moral agency, of consequence, right from the outset.
Ah, okay. So paradise, but not without structure.
Mm,
or maybe responsibility.
exactly, which
Yeah.
connects to what you were saying about provision.
Yeah, because God provides everything Adam needs, right? Food, beauty, water. But there's also this sense of responsibility baked in. I know it comes a bit later, verse 15, but it sets it up. Here he's placed there to work it and take care of it.
Mm,
So paradise isn't passive lounging, it's active engagement, stewardship.
that's a great way to put it. Active engagement. It's a gift, but one that invites participation.
So as we start to wrap up our look at just these few verses, Genesis 2.2:10, what are the big takeaways? What do you hope someone listening really holds on to from this?
For me, one powerful thing is just how sacred rest is presented. It's not laziness, it's not an optional extra. It seems to be part of God's fundamental design for creation and for us, a rhythm of being that actually comes before the doing.
That's huge. And I keep coming back to that personal creation, the potter image, the breath, the idea that, you listening, you're not just some accident or mass-produced thing. The story suggests you're individually formed, known, given life directly.
Absolutely. And maybe finally, the garden itself, it reminds us that God's nature is generous, providing beauty and sustenance. But it also, as you said, invites us into that stewardship, to care for the gifts we've been given, to engage meaningfully with creation.
Okay, so here's something maybe for you to chew on this week. How might recognizing rest as sacred or seeing your own creation as deeply personal, how might that actually reshape your daily life? How you approach your work, your responsibilities, even how you see the world around you? What stands out most to you from digging into this today? Something to think about.